Vasco da Gama was a famous explorer from Portugal. He was born in Sines, Portugal, around 1469. He is best known for being the first European to sail directly from Europe to India. Da Gama lived during a time known as the Age of Exploration. Europeans were eager to find new sea routes to the east. They wanted spices like pepper, cinnamon, and cloves. These were very valuable in Europe. At this time, the only way to reach India by sea was by sailing east around Africa. This was a very long and dangerous journey. No one had successfully completed this voyage before da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a skilled sailor and navigator. He was also a very ambitious man. He was determined to be the first European to sail to India. Not much is known about Vasco da Gama's early life. He was one of 6 children. His family was not wealthy, but they had connections to the Portuguese court. It is believed that da Gama received a good education for his time. He learned about navigation, astronomy, and mathematics. These skills would serve him well in his later life. As a young man, da Gama joined the Portuguese Navy. He quickly proved himself to be a capable sailor and a fearless fighter. He participated in several expeditions along the African coast. These early voyages gave da Gama valuable experience. He learned about the winds and currents of the Atlantic Ocean. He also gained knowledge of the African coast and its people. In 1497, Vasco da Gama set sail from Lisbon, Portugal, with 4 ships. His goal was to find a sea route to India by sailing around the southern tip of Africa. The journey was fraught with danger. Da Gama and his crew faced many challenges on their journey. They encountered storms, disease, and hostile natives. Food and water were scarce. Many of his crewmen died. The voyage was long and arduous. It took da Gama and his crew many months to sail around Africa. They had to stop at several ports along the way for supplies and repairs. Despite these hardships, da Gama refused to give up. He was determined to reach India and fulfill his mission. His determination and leadership kept his crew going. In May 1498, after 10 months at sea, da Gama's ships reached Calicut, India. This was a momentous event. It marked the first time that a European ship had sailed directly from Europe to India. Da Gama's arrival in India was met with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. The local ruler, the Zamorin of Calicut, was intrigued by these strange visitors from a distant land. Da Gama had hoped to establish trade relations with the Zamorin. However, his mission was not entirely successful. The Arab traders in Calicut saw the Portuguese as rivals and tried to turn the Zamorin against them. Despite these challenges, da Gama managed to acquire a valuable cargo of spices before returning to Portugal. His return in 1499 was greeted with great celebration. He had opened up a new sea route to the east. Section 5. Return to India, Triumph and Tragedy. Vasco da Gama made 2 more voyages to India. His second voyage, in 1502, was a much larger and more powerful expedition. Da Gama was tasked with establishing a strong Portuguese presence in the Indian Ocean. On this voyage, da Gama was ruthless in his dealings with the Arab traders. He bombarded the city of Calicut and seized Arab ships. He was determined to secure Portugal's dominance of the spice trade. Da Gama's third and final voyage to India took place in 1524. He was appointed as the Viceroy of Portuguese India, the highest governing position in the Portuguese colonies. However, da Gama's time as Viceroy was short-lived. He died in Kochi, India, in December 1524, just a few months after arriving. He was buried in India, but his remains were later returned to Portugal. Section 6. The impact of da Gama's discoveries. Vasco da Gama's voyages had a profound impact on world history. His discovery of the sea route to India helped to break the Arab monopoly on the spice trade. This new trade route gave Portugal direct access to the riches of the East. It also shifted the balance of power in Europe. Portugal became a major maritime power, while the Italian city-states, which had controlled the spice trade for centuries, began to decline. Da Gama's voyages also marked a turning point in European exploration. They ushered in a new era of exploration and discovery. European powers began to explore and colonize other parts of the world, including the Americas. The consequences of da Gama's voyages were not all positive. The Portuguese presence in the Indian Ocean led to conflict with local rulers and traders. It also contributed to the growth of the transatlantic slave trade. Section 7. Da Gama's final voyage and death. In 1524, King John III of Portugal appointed Vasco da Gama as Viceroy of India. This was a high honor, recognizing da Gama's experience and service to the crown. Despite his age and past hardships, da Gama accepted this new challenge. He set sail for India one last time, leading a fleet of 14 ships. His mission was to restore order in the Portuguese colonies and address corruption and inefficiency. Upon arrival, da Gama took swift action to assert Portuguese authority. He implemented administrative reforms and cracked down on illegal trade practices. However, his tenure was cut short. Just a few months after arriving in Cochin, India, da Gama fell ill and died on December 24, 1524. He was initially buried in India, but his remains were later returned to Portugal in 1539. Section 8. Vasco da Gama, a legacy of exploration. Vasco da Gama's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is celebrated as a hero in Portugal, where he is seen as a symbol of national pride and maritime achievement. Da Gama's voyages had a profound impact on world history. His discovery of the sea route to India ushered in a new era of global trade and European exploration. However, da Gama is also a controversial figure. His methods were often brutal, and his actions contributed to the exploitation of native populations and the growth of colonialism. Despite the controversies, there is no denying the significance of da Gama's achievements. He was a skilled navigator, a fearless explorer, and a key figure in the rise of Portugal as a global power. Section 9. The world after da Gama. Da Gama's voyages had far-reaching consequences that shaped the course of history. The world was never the same after his groundbreaking journey to India. The discovery of the sea route to the east led to a surge in global trade. European powers, eager to capitalize on the lucrative spice trade, established trading posts and colonies in Asia. This increased contact between East and West brought about cultural exchange, but also led to conflict and exploitation. European powers sought to control trade routes and resources, often at the expense of local populations. Da Gama's voyages also had a profound impact on navigation and shipbuilding. His expeditions spurred advances in maritime technology and cartography, as European explorers ventured further into uncharted waters. Section 10. Remembering a maritime pioneer. Vasco da Gama's legacy continues to be debated and re-evaluated today. Some historians criticize his brutal methods and the negative consequences of his voyages. Others argue that da Gama should be judged by the standards of his time. They point to his courage, determination, and navigational skills, which were extraordinary for his era. In Portugal, da Gama remains a national hero. His voyages are celebrated as a defining moment in Portuguese history. Numerous monuments and memorials have been erected in his honor. One such monument is the Padrao dos Descobrimentos in Lisbon. This impressive monument, built in 1961, celebrates Portugal's age of exploration and features a prominent statue of Vasco da Gama. Section 11. Conclusion. Da Gama's enduring mark on history. Vasco da Gama's voyages were a pivotal moment in world history. He connected Europe and Asia in a way that had never been done before. His journey opened up new trade routes and ushered in an era of global exploration and colonization. Da Gama's legacy is complex. He was a skilled navigator and a bold explorer, but also a ruthless conqueror. His actions had both positive and negative consequences that continue to be felt today. Whether celebrated as a hero or condemned as a colonizer, Vasco da Gama's place in history is secure. His epic voyage to India remains a testament to human ambition, courage, and the enduring desire to explore the unknown. His story serves as a reminder of the complexities of history and the importance of understanding the past to navigate the present and future. Da Gama's voyages, though centuries old, still offer valuable lessons about exploration, cultural exchange, and the impact of human actions on a global scale.